If you've ever been told you're not important enough to wait for, imagine hearing those words 5 minutes before your entire family's future changed. I wasn't just left behind at an airport. I was left behind on purpose. They laughed when the boarding gate closed without me. They called me dramatic. They said the vacation mattered more than I did. But 43 minutes later, my lawyer called. And suddenly the flight they fought so hard to catch became the biggest mistake any of them had ever made. My name is Ethan Carter. And this is how everyone who thought I was replaceable learned exactly what I was worth. Family always has a funny way of teaching you your place. Mine taught me mine over 28 years. I was the dependable one. The guy who loaned money without asking when it would come back. The guy who fixed broken sinks, helped people move apartments, picked relatives up from airports at midnight, and somehow was still considered the selfish one anytime I said no. My older brother Brandon was the golden child. Didn't matter that he changed careers 6 times. Didn't matter that he owed money to nearly everyone in the family. Didn't matter that our parents had quietly paid off 2 of his credit cards. According to Mom, Brandon was finding himself. According to Dad, he just needs one more chance. I stopped counting those chances years ago. The family vacation to Maui was supposed to be different. My grandmother had always dreamed of taking all of us together before she got too old to travel. She paid for almost everything herself. Hotels, excursions, dinner reservations, even the flights. She wanted memories, not arguments. I almost didn't go. I'd been drowning in work at my architectural firm, and honestly, spending a week pretending everything was perfect sounded exhausting. But Grandma asked personally, so I said yes. The morning of our flight, I drove everyone to the airport in my SUV. Of course I did, because Brandon's truck had engine problems. Again. By the time we arrived, everyone scattered. Dad wanted coffee. Mom wanted magazines. Brandon disappeared because he'd forgotten to charge his phone. His girlfriend, Kayla, wanted pictures for Instagram. Guess who stayed with Grandma and all the luggage? Me. Always me. When boarding finally started, Grandma realized she'd left her medication in the restroom. "I'll be right back," she whispered. "I'll go," I said. I sprinted, found the medication exactly where she'd left it, way back. Security temporarily blocked one of the corridors because someone had collapsed nearby. 3 minutes. That's all it took. By the time I reached the gate, the door was closing. I could see my family standing inside the jet bridge. I waved. I yelled. The gate agent looked toward them. My mother looked directly into my eyes. Then she shrugged. I watched Brandon smile. Actually smile. Dad turned around. The gate closed. I stared through the glass as they disappeared. The gate agent looked uncomfortable. "I'm sorry, sir. They told us not to wait." I blinked. "They what?" "They said you were probably running late like usual." I laughed, because I thought it had to be a joke. "I'm never late." She hesitated. "I know." Then she quietly added, "They also said..." She stopped herself. "What?" "They said you weren't worth delaying the flight." For a second, everything inside me went completely quiet. I sat alone at gate 23 for almost 20 minutes. Not crying, not angry. Empty. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Normally I would have ignored it. Instead, I answered. "Mr. Carter?" "Yes." "This is Daniel Morrison, from Morrison and Fields." The name sounded familiar. "I'm calling regarding your grandfather's estate." I frowned. "My grandfather passed away 12 years ago." "Correct. There was a legal trust that recently matured, according to his instructions." I straightened in my chair. "I've been trying to reach your family all morning." "My family?" "Yes. You're the primary beneficiary." I actually laughed. "I think you have the wrong Ethan." "I assure you I don't." He continued. The trust is valued at approximately $8.7 million, including commercial real estate and investment accounts. My mouth went dry. There are conditions. Of course there were. Your grandfather specifically required that you personally accept the inheritance before any family distributions could occur. I looked out the airport window. The plane had already disappeared. When? The paperwork must begin today. Today? Yes. If you're unavailable, the trust enters litigation. Then he asked the question that changed everything. Can you come to my office within the hour? I whispered. Actually, I'm the only family member still in the city. Silence. Then the lawyer calmly replied, that simplifies things considerably. The attorney's office overlooked downtown Chicago. Elegant. Quiet. Nothing like the chaos my family created. Daniel slid a thick envelope across the table. Your grandfather left you something else. A handwritten letter. The paper had yellowed with age. I recognized Grandpa's handwriting instantly. Ethan, if you're reading this, it means I was right. You've spent your life putting everyone else first. They will call it kindness. Some will call it weakness. I never did. I watched how this family treated people when money wasn't involved. I also watched how they treated you. Never confuse being useful with being loved. By the time I reached the last page, my eyes were burning. Grandpa had seen everything. Every birthday I'd organized. Every repair I'd paid for. Every sacrifice nobody thanked me for. Then came the final paragraph. This money isn't a reward. It's your freedom. Don't waste it trying to buy love from people who already decided your value. I folded the letter carefully. Daniel looked at me. There's one more thing. He opened another folder. The rest of your family only receives their inheritances if you approve distribution. I stared at him. Meaning? You have complete discretion. For the first time all day, I smiled. About 4 hours later, my phone exploded. 23 missed calls. Texts from Mom, Dad, Brandon, Kayla, even cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. Apparently Grandma had mentioned the lawyer after landing. Someone had connected the dots. Mom called again. I answered. Ethan, there you are. We've been worried sick. Worried? You left me. It was an accident. No, it wasn't. Silence. Then she tried another angle. Sweetheart, we're family. I looked at Grandpa's letter beside me. Funny, you didn't seem to remember that at gate 23. She started crying. Real or fake? I couldn't tell anymore. Then Brandon grabbed the phone. Come on, man. Don't be petty. Petty? That word almost made me laugh. The inheritance belongs to everyone. No, it belongs to Grandpa, and Grandpa trusted me. Brandon's voice hardened. You wouldn't screw over your own family. I answered calmly. I learned that from watching mine. Then I hung up. 3 months later, I approved a small portion of the estate for Grandma. She had never asked for a penny. She never even knew she'd been left out of the legal process. The rest, I declined. Legally. Permanently. I started my own architecture firm, bought my first office, paid off my mortgage, created scholarships in Grandpa's name for students who reminded me of me. People everyone overlooked. As for my family, they still tell people I changed after the inheritance. They're wrong. Money didn't change me. Respect did. Because the day they decided I wasn't worth missing a plane for, I finally realized they weren't worth missing my future for. Sometimes revenge isn't screaming. Sometimes it isn't humiliation. Sometimes it's quietly closing the gate behind the people who closed one on you. And trust me, that lasts much longer than any vacation ever could.